Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for the VIcki Boutin design team and I'm very excited you're here so I can show you a little bit of what Vicky calls my dark side. And in reality, if you have seen my work, then you know that I love black and white photography. I love a lot of black. And one of the reasons that I love black is because it brings a lot of the colors forward. So I want to give you an idea of using Vicky's products to create a similar look. And I want to show you how black can enhance your layout. So for this, I am going to use the Vicky's watercolors and a very well yeso foundation paper. This foundation paper is being yeso from pretty much the entire surface. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm adding some black watercolor onto my little palette and diluting it with some water just to make it liquid. And then I'm going to use the big brush. This is from Vicky's watercolor brushes, just to apply, pretty much cover the entire page with black paint. I'm going to leave a little bit of the edges, and I'm going to tell you ahead of time that I almost had a heart attack when I cut too much of the edges at the end. But it's okay, I solved it. But all I'm doing is just going on one direction. You're going to see that I go on one direction, just applying what I'm going to say a wash of color. I'm not being careful as to not leave lines. I don't mind the distressed look of the background. I actually quite like it. So all you're going to see me do is it's not going to take a lot of paint, but it's going to take more than a pea size amount. So all I'm doing is dilute it, and I am loving the fact that you can see the distress of the yeso behind it. Even though I apply my yeso with a brayer, I cannot make an even application. So you're going to see a little bit of distress on the background. And once, I wouldn't think that I'm not going to say that I don't like it. It's the little brush marks. But I'm okay. All I'm doing is just going with a little bit of like a more liquidy application, just trying to erase the brush marks. But I'm okay with it, honestly, guys. I don't mind distressed looks at all. And all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to add a little bit of, I'm going to say a different tone to the black, some interest to the background. And all I'm going to do is create some drips. And for that, all I'm going to do is add some of the watercolor. You saw me that I add a little bit more water. I want to make it very fluid. And all I'm doing is adding it to the top of my page, lifting my page, kind of tipping it forward, and then just gonna tap it lightly on the table, and they're just gonna create natural drips. Love how that turned out. Now, like I said, the point of having a black background is that you can add interest to it. So remember that I yeso this background really well. So I'm gonna use my stencil brush to take away some of the paint. Remember, the yeso is gonna resist some of the watercolor. So all I'm gonna do is you're gonna see me spray a little bit of water on my craft mat, and I'm using this stencil from my stash. I wanted something very small because the picture I'm gonna document is one of my kids in the snow. So there's a lot of white. So I'm gonna bring kind of a little accents of white on the background in the distressed look, just to accent just not to make it so like black. So the distress is gonna help, and also these little dots that are gonna show up. And all I'm doing is picking up a little bit of water with my brush and kind of go in a circular motion on top of the stencil, and you're gonna see that the paint just comes off. Now, what I'm doing in between that is I'm drying the back of the stencil, because what I'm doing is I'm kind of taking off the paint, the watercolor, so it's becoming liquid. If I leave it there, it's gonna become really messy, and it's gonna be just like a liquid. It's not gonna have the forms of the polka dot. So just be mindful of that. So I'm drawing in between, lifting the stencil, I'm drawing the back of it. Now, this is the picture of my kids. And what is actually popping a lot is my baby, which is the dog, and my son are both wearing blue sweaters. So it really pops. There's a lot of snow in the background. So I want to bring some of that whiteness. Again, like I said, the black in the background is just the background. Don't be afraid of black. It actually is going to accent every single color you're going to see. So I wanted to bring white. And my idea was I'm going to add the script stencil, which is one of my favorite stencils, to the background, just to bring some of the whiteness. But it wasn't showing the way that I wanted. I wanted something that was going to fade from really light, kind of like say like a grayish tone, to really white. So my choice is yeso. And you're going to see that I'm going to use the script stencil, but the way I'm applying it, I'm not going in circles. I'm actually stippling the brush on top of the stencil. And what I'm doing is I'm concentrating on one area where I'm going really, I'm continuing the stippling right in the center and kind of fading the stippling to the side. So what it's creating is just kind of fading the lines as you go away from the center. I think you can see it right now. It's like in the center, you can see the lines of the script are very defined, but as you look closer, you're gonna see how the lines kind of fade away as it moves away. Love how this turned out. You're gonna see that I applied quite a bit of the stencil to the right hand side. That's where my picture is gonna be seated. And I'm gonna bring a little bit of the same look just to the corners of the page, a very faint application. I wanna marry everything together without marking the spot. I know where my picture is gonna be seated, but I wanna make sure that my eye is gonna go all around it. So I'm gonna apply little details everywhere. Now, while that dry, I was thinking I need to bring another color, something that's gonna accent, something that is gonna bring a little bit of the richness of the picture, something that's gonna bring the color forward. So my choice was to bring something shiny. It's me. So I went and pulled out some of the gold glaze and some of the iridescent glaze, and I mixed them together. I don't want a deep gold, I want a really light gold. So by mixing them together, I'm still not gonna get champagne, but it's gonna be lighter than the gold that comes out of the pack. Once I have it mixed together, I'm gonna use, this is what the stencil is from the Field Notes collection, and I'm just gonna use the small, at the beginning I thought I was gonna apply all the hearts, just a little section. You see me that how I added a piece of tape, but then as I started looking, I don't want something thick. I already have the application on the back. So I'm just gonna scatter the smallest hearts that I can find in the stencil. So I'm being very careful to apply the palette on the stencil so that I don't have gold paste everywhere. And I'm going to take it off camera and I'm going to just show you. And then like I said before, I apply the heaviest on the right hand side, and I'm just going to scatter a few hearts on the other side too. Now here is, you're going to see I had quite a bit of paste left because I miscalculated the amount that I was, like I said, my idea changed. I started applying. So I'm going to add some water, just enough water to make it to the consistency of acrylic paint, not watercolor, acrylic paint. And then I'm going to use a fine brush just to drop, it's going to sound bad, but just to put some droplets on the page. And what it's going to create is going to create little dots of gold that have, they're going to be round, but they're going to have texture. Since I have a lot of it, I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to use them to create what I'm going to say texture white gold paper. And I'm going to use it in another project, maybe not for Vicki, but for something else. And the beauty of it is that when you see it, the droplets are round and they have a shape, so they're not going flat. Now here's where I make my mistake, and I set it aside to dry. I decided to I knew I was gonna back this paper. My idea was to back it with blue paper just to make sure that I pop the blue. But when I cut the first line, I didn't realize, well, I realized that the paper is bent, but I cut on skew, so my line was crooked. So it kind of took away a lot of my idea, and I freaked out for 5 minutes, had to pull it off camera. So I went and pulled this vanilla cardstock from my stash, and I just used it to back the layer. You know what? On hindsight, I think it was a great idea, because otherwise the lines of where the watercolor finished would have drove me insane. But again, my OCD is kicking right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start working on the layout. I use one of the papers from the Field Notes collection to just back the picture. I want to bring some of the blues, not something deep, something just going to give me a hint of the blue to make sure that the subject of the picture, in case my 3 kids popped out of the layout. I'm going to use the foam adhesive just to make sure that there's some separation between the background and the picture. That's going to create a little bit of the shadow. That's going to help break some of the blackness. Do not be afraid of the dark. It sounds really bad. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of the diagonal look that I have, because my kids are placed on the left-hand side of the picture and have a lot of white space. I'm thinking I'm going to create a large cluster of ephemera up there. And I'm going to create a smaller one. I'm thinking like something like a cascade. And I had quite a bit of these blue flowers on my stash of die cuts. And it's one of the reasons why I decided to look for this picture. So I'm going to use the bigger flowers on the top right corner of the layout. Like I said, I'm taking a cascade. You're going to see that the flowers are going to be off the layout. I'm going to cut them off. And then I'm just using some of the stickers from the watercolor stickers. This is the packaging. Actually, this is part of the packaging. And I'm just going to keep everything white and blue. This way, I'm going to make sure that the blue is what stands out. And that's where I'm bringing the gold. You're going to see that I added a little bit from ephemera. I really like that note piece at the bottom. And I went through all the stickers, all the stuff that I have from Vicki, pulling out a lot of blue stuff, everything, all the ephemera pieces that had blue. Now, You're gonna see I cut the flower, I'm adding a little bit more leaves, and then I'm gonna create a title to bring some more of that gold that I have already going on. This is one of Vicki's cut files. I had created this for, I think, a project in the fall of last year that I didn't use. And all I did is cut the word 3 times, glue it together, then added a little bit of gold glaze, and then actually smear a whole bunch of Vicki's glitter on top of it. None of it is glittery, but it is stuck there, so I'm good with it. And just to accent and bring more of the blue and to break the straight line that I have going on, I'm going to bring this blue moth at the bottom. It's just going to create kind of a zigzag, and it's going to create movement to the page. Now I'm going into Vicki sticker just to bring a little bit more of those gold details, and I'm bringing a few of the enamel dots from the All the Good Things collection. I'm going to bring a few more accents of blue at the top because there's a lot of white, and this is one of the chipboards from the Field Notes collection. And that's pretty much it. My layout is done. Again, I added a few more puffy stickers just to bring more of the blue. I'm gonna add just a few lines of journal just to detail where my kids were at that time. I think it's all that the layout needs. And that's about it. Super simple. I love how this turned out. Again, this is my dark side. Do not be afraid to use black on your layout. Just don't put it straight. Think of adding distress or adding some detail that's gonna make everything pop. Black is gonna make everything that you put on top of it pop. So I hope you try it. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to check out Vicki's stuff, and I hope to see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.